And I found a book recently that is called the TM book, How to Enjoy the Rest of Your Life. And you can take rest as two different ways. But this is just kind of a synopsis. It's packed with studies, scientifically done studies on meditation. And there were two in there, and they were kind of pulling from the more boring books of research on meditation. There was one I remember that they took people who they split into two groups. They weren't randomly assigned. They took one group that everyone in this group had been meditating for at least 5 years, and this group, same kind of, everything about them was the same, but the only difference was this group had been meditating for at least 5 years. And all of these people in these two groups were over age 60. And so this group, and what they were looking for between the two groups, when I say biological aging, what does that mean? What is biological age, your biological age?
Aging at the cellular level. Internal aging, like the organs, your brain, your heart, your lungs.
Okay, and what is that? How does that differ from chronological age? What?
It's just a number. Your chronological age is how many years you've been on Earth.
How many times you've gone around the sun, right? One time around the sun, 1 year. The planet going around the sun, I mean. Now, you can't do much about chronological aging. That's just how old you are. But what they were looking at was biological aging, because they've found and especially with stress studies, that people who are under intense levels of stress, they age faster. You see that in people. My brother, my older brother, when he was alive, he went through he was ready to be on his 4th divorce. And he'd had people sue him. I mean, he was a multimillionaire guy, but his life was so stressed. He was so stressed. And he was 3 years older than me. And he looked like he was 20 years older than me. Literally, people would say, "Is that your dad?" No, it's like, it's just 3 years older. You see people age quickly when they're you see professional basketball coaches. That's one of the most obvious ones. I mean, suddenly they're just gray and old and stuff. Presidents of the United States, they age really quickly. So they did these so they compared meditators and non-meditators who had been meditating for at least 5 years, and there's markers that will show how fast you're aging, or that you are aging more quickly, like how fast your fingernails grow, how your hair's growing, gray or not, visual acuity. There's several markers that show, yes, you're aging more quickly, or no, you're not. And what they found between these two groups is the people who had been meditating 5 years or longer, and the average was 5 years, had biological ages 12 years younger than the same group of people who didn't meditate. So it was like doing the opposite. Instead of aging quickly for stress, by just spending 15 minutes a day, it slowed down the aging process.
Do you feel like it's reversible for people who have gotten to that point?
Yeah. Well, I mean, to whatever extent they can.